Alright, YouTube is telling me that I am live. Let's see if it's working. I'm watching my own stream, making sure that things are coming through, because I did not know that setting up an event would be entirely different than just going live on YouTube. But it's coming through on my end, so perfect. Alright, YouTube is telling me that I am live. Let's see if it's working. I'm watching my own stream, making sure that things are coming through, because I did not know that... I just gotta mute myself because I can hear it. Okay, perfect. Alright, well, thank you very much for waiting on me, guys. Greetings and welcome. My name is Aaron Craig with Beyond Us Games, and I am starting a live streaming series about, well, several different things. This one specifically is going to be building a top-down shooter. I am going to be using this project to eventually actually teach another course on Udemy and Skillshare, and I thought I would actually do this live, getting input from all of you about the art, the style, the game, the feel, what I include, what I should talk about, things like that. So I'm going to build this entire game here, and then once I'm done, I'm going to take some time, make a course out of it, and it'll be great. So I also am doing other live streams as well. If you're interested in those, I am building a website and doing a course for web development for beginners, which I'm excited about. I did that earlier today. And I've also got I almost have a new website. I'll go ahead and bring that up. I am doing web development now a lot, as well as game stuff, because that's actually what my degree was in, and so I want to start doing more of that. So I am relaunching my website, and you can see it here. I've got it's a very basic website, but it gives out the information that I want. And the most important part of it is that the schedule is going to be on here. So I'm going to get into the habit of setting up a schedule on here, and I'm going to try and have an entire month planned out. I'm just starting this week, and so I don't have it very well planned out just yet. But I am going to set up my live streams on here when I'm working, doing things like that. So you'll be able to tune in and see exactly what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and join me for whatever you'd like to do that with. I'm going to be live streaming game development and web development each week, and then I'm also going to be doing tutorials just like I have been doing. This isn't going to replace the content that I was putting out before, but it's going to supplement it. So probably what I learn in this stream, or what we talk about, I'll probably turn that into a tutorial for later this week, so that people can watch the live stream if they want or not, and then they can still see some of that content that we created. The other part of this is to show you that kind of the way that I learn and the way that I make, because I really don't know that much. I don't know everything about game development. I don't know a lot of things, and so I want to kind of be open with that and have this experience of creating things together as a community instead of just doing it all by myself. So that's kind of where I'm at, what's going on, and what you can expect from this. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I have a project that I was working on, but I'm going to go ahead and just start fresh so that anyone who is watching this series can watch it and can follow along with me completely from there. So I'm going to make a brand new project. I'm going to put it on my desktop here and name it course this time. Okay, awesome. So what I am planning on doing is turning this into a top-down shooter, kind of like a shoot 'em up, probably like you've seen a lot. If you've played a lot of I'm trying to think, because I haven't actually played that many. So one of the things that I need to go and do is go and play some of these. So if you have suggestions for for specific games that you think would be great inspiration for me to draw from, let me know and I will check those games out. But I've seen quite a few of them. I've played some pretty old school ones, like on the Super Nintendo back in the day, and so I know what they're supposed to be like and feel like, and I enjoy them. I just haven't played much of them. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. I'm going to make sure that this is one of the things that I need still going and working. Looks like it is. Awesome. Okay, so First up, what I like to do is get sprites. So I'm going to go ahead and search for some sprites. And I know where some are. I was using them before, and they're really great. If you've ever used Kenny before, he has some fantastic sprites. They're great for prototyping games really quickly, or you can actually make an entire game out of them if you wanted to. You can see here that he's got entire sprite sheets for a top-down shooter that we can set up and create, and that's kind of exactly what we're going to do. So they are public domain. You don't have to attribute anyone. You don't have to tell anyone where you got them from. You can just use them, and he's got a very distinctive art style though, so you'll probably know. But I'll go ahead and download these, and you can support him on here or on Patreon, which I would definitely encourage you doing, because he is a fantastic artist who gives a lot back. So I'm going to extract these. I've also, trying this live stream specifically, got some music playing in the background. It's really, really low and low key, and it is from, who are they? It's video game music. I forget their name, but if you just like search video game remix, I think that's actually what they're called. You'll find them on there, and they are really great. They have really great music, and you can use them, and I love them. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in those assets into here so that I have them all. And then let's go ahead and look through and see what we've got. So we have entire sprite sheets that we can pull from if we wanted to. This is the terrain, and then we have characters. So not super high resolution, but that's okay. It's going to be smaller scale, so that's going to be fine. We've got lots of different characters with guns, so we can set up some customization there, which will be cool. And then we have them all specifically in PNGs as well, so we'll definitely use that. And the tile sheets we've got again. Okay, so that's really cool. We'll go ahead and do that. Binding of Isaac. Yeah, I've seen that one quite a bit. I haven't played it personally, but it's on like every platform now, and I think it won some awards, so I'll definitely look into that. Alright, so for me personally, I love to just get some sprites on there and actually be able to start like prototyping at least the way it looks visually. I know that you don't have to, and everyone is different, but that's something that I actually really enjoy doing. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in some of the sprites that we've got here. I'm going to select them on this monitor and put them in here. And I'm going to create a group, because I think we're going to have a lot of sprites. So I definitely want to do that. So we're going to say Hitman. And going to want to rename all of those. So I'm going to say SPR Hitman. Let's see. Hitman Gun 1. SPR Hitman No Gun. Yes, I did make it. Finally figured out what was going on. SPR Hitman Gun 2. So that's a reload for... I guess you can use that reload for any gun, but I think it's more specifically for Gun 2. Hitman Gun 2 Reload. Hitman Gun 3. Hitman Standing. Okay, so that gives us a Hitman. Now, let's put in some zombies so that we can have some enemies as well. Okay. SPR zombie gun 1. What's the difference between no gun and standing? Alright, a little bit. Gun 2. Reload. Zombie gun 3. And here we go. Okay, so that gives us a hitman and a zombie, which is enough, because what I really want to focus on right now is getting movement set up. Oh, 1 a.m. That is pretty early. I assume you're going to bed, not waking up, because that would be gross. Okay, gonna make an object. Player. Enemy. So, if at any time while I'm going on, you have ideas about what you want to see, or questions about how I'm approaching this, or something you want to, like, you would love to see in this game specifically, then give me a shout out, because I would love for this to become that. I'm making a top-down shooter, but I would love input about what you'd like to see. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the player. Player's going to be the hitman. He'll start with no gun. Guess we'll just start there. Enemy will be the zombie to start with, and he'll start with a gun. Okay. And do let me know if the music is too loud, too distracting, or whatever, because I can hear it, but I don't know like how loud it's coming through on your end. And this is the first time I'm trying music in the background, so I'd love to know if that's like too much or too little or what, or if you can't even hear it. Okay, so for the top-down shooter, I started working on this, so I have an idea about how I want to approach some of the movement code. I want to be able to aim with the mouse, so as I am moving around, I actually want my player to look at me. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and give my guy a gun so that I can just see which way he's looking for now. I'm going to add a create event and a step event. And what I'm going to do is set image angle equal to point direction. And it's going to be X, Y, and then mouse X and mouse Y. And this I actually did a video on, like specifically changing image angles based on, you know, moving around and stuff. So that lets us move the player around, and then if we fire, we'll fire a bullet, you know, at the mouse direction. So that works perfect. That's what we want. And before I forget, I'm going to go in and change this to 60 frames per second. Otherwise, it's going to be bad. Yeah, okay, reading from Mondayu. Skip the tricky calculation of normally. Yeah, that's where I got hung up last time, actually, is going forward and backwards is easy, but actually, like, moving side to side, trying to figure out, like, because if my mouse is, you know, if my mouse is up here, how do I move him side to side? Do I move side to side like this and keep him directly on that, or does he, like, go around the mouse, so basically a complete circle? So that's actually one of the things that I really have to decide on fairly early on, because that'll, you know, include the movement. What I really want is to be able to strafe. So if I click go left while the mouse is over here, then he'll strafe this way completely, and then otherwise he'll strafe while he's moving, but he'll still like look around. So that's the first idea I have, is pure strafing based on where we were when we actually did the movement. So I'm going to go ahead and put most of my code in the step event here for now, but I'm going to translate it into scripts later on. Putting it in here is just easy to start with. So okay, So, yeah. I'm gonna do right equals keyboard check. And I've done, I think, a tutorial on this specific movement system as well. I think I got this from Heartbeast on one of his videos of like simplifying movement. Just putting these into variables and then checking those variables instead of checking key downs on everyone, making super long if statements. It's just much easier to do it this way. So if up, so if we want to move forward, I'm gonna say X. Well, how did I do this before? So we always want to move directly towards the mouse. So we can't actually just use plus X plus Y because our mouse could be in X or Y when we want to be moving forward. So I guess up isn't right. I guess we should actually say like forward and backward. Forward and backward. So we'll actually call it that. I think that makes more sense. And I'll increase the text size. I always forget to do that. Alright. So if we're forward, then I think motion add. Let's take a look at this. For collisions, simple physics. I think what I had before was actually... I was using speed and direction, the built-in properties. Oh, okay. Moving diagonally is faster than just side to side or up and down. Okay. I think I get what you mean. I'm not entirely sure because I know in most movements, like if you press like W and D, then it adds, twice to your speed. So yeah, you're moving a lot faster that way. We'll definitely, well, we'll see. Sometimes in some games you actually want that, and in some games you don't. It just kind of depends. So let's set up my old system and then we can play around with it. So we're gonna set direction equal to image angle since we already have that. And I'm just going to say speed. I think we just need to set it equal to 5. And we'll set if backward speed equals -5. And we'll see how that goes. It doesn't go at all. Oh, that's right. I use the VK keys. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that works fine. I can go backwards. That's cool. It would actually be kind of a fun game if you like set something up so where you're always moving. I think that'd be kind of an interesting challenge where you're always moving, so you have to like navigate around obstacles while not dying. But yeah, that's something else. Okay. I actually want to be using ORDs here, not VK, not the arrow keys. So I'll change those. Okay. So put an else in here, set speed equal to 0, and call that. So if I'm holding, yep, so that's movement back and forward. You can see that, they follow the mouse perfectly, and on the back it's, yeah. Okay, so now we've got that. Movement works fine, and I think for a top-down shooter, this is kind of what you want. I know you could do like regular diagonal movement of just, you know, up, down, left, and right, and you could move diagonal too. But I feel like for a top-down shooter, I don't know. What do you think? Does anyone have like a strong opinion? Like, should a top-down shooter follow the mouse, or should just the image angle change? Like, so you can fire looking this way while you're still moving up by pressing W? Because it could go either way for sure, and those are two very different movement systems, which you could set up like in an options menu. So I know how to do diagonal movement. That's not very difficult. So I think what I will focus on is setting up like movement like this with strafing in there, because for me that's actually where the challenge is at. Setting up like a regular top-down RPG movement, that's not very hard. So if we want that, or if someone like says that that's necessary, then I'll set that up as well. But I'm going to set up just this kind of movement for now. So, okay. Now we get to try this. Oh, right. Alright, so I want pure strafing, which means that I want to take whichever direction we're actually in currently, and then set up the... I want to keep my direction the same, so I can't actually be changing direction based on image angle here, because if I am changing the direction while I'm strafing, then I'll change which way I'm actually moving. So let's try this. I'm going to specifically set up direction inside, like while I'm actually moving and in the else, and then while I'm strafing, I'm not going to be updating my direction at all. So, okay. So this is where it gets difficult, because speed is, well, speed is going forward and backwards in whichever way you're moving, but if I use direction, so if my direction is here, and if I want to go left, I could always just say direction minus 90, then that's the direction that I'm going to then move myself, and I'll set my speed that way. Yeah, I'm curious to see how I'm going to do it too. I was working on this for a while, like several weeks ago, and I just got stumped, so I stopped. But I figured if I'm actually on live stream, then I have to tackle it instead of just avoiding it. So, okay, let's see if that idea works. So I'm going to say direction minus 90, and then speed equals 5, and then I will increase direction by 90 and keep speed equal to 5. Okay, so, whoa, that's, oh, right, because I'm just moving direction up the whole time. Okay, I need to just change direction one time, and only one time. Actually, what would happen if I'm, like, trying to do both? Oh, you can only hold down one key. Right. Okay, so I need direction to only trigger one time, so if keyboard check pressed left, then direction changes one time. Right. And only change it one time. Let's see if that works. Okay, that actually does work. I have them backwards though. So if I press D, I'm going to the left, but I actually am strafing. So I need... Oh, because they're both speed equals -5. Let's try that. There we go. Okay, so I can move regularly here, and then if I press A, I'm strafing left. And then I can move, and I can do that. What? Now I'm pressing D, and I'm going to the left. What is happening? It was kind of working, and now my speed just seems to be wrong. Okay, I think I've actually almost got the strafing in there. Okay, there we go. I just need speed to be negative both times. So now I can follow here and press that and actually strafe while I'm moving, and it doesn't mess anything up. So I can continue shooting while I'm strafing, and I can change it. So I'm actually just pressing A right now, just like strafing left the whole time, and based on my image angle, that's where I'm going. So that actually does kind of work. I think this speed is way too fast. Let's try setting up move speed. Ooh, can't type. So I'm gonna actually put up a variable here now. Okay. So a little bit slower, and I can strafe. Yeah, that's actually, it might be kind of confusing, so I'm going to, let's see if we can set up both of these. I'm going to take off the else's here, and then I'm going to say if we'll say no key for now and see if that just works, because I want to be able to like move and then start strafing, but I'm not sure if that's a good idea. So if I'm moving forward and I press D, I start going backwards. If I move forward and... okay. So... strafing like this, well, trying to do both is not working. Nouns, I'm looking at your question, but shouldn't it follow the mouse as well, like forward? Do you mean like if I'm strafing, I would basically go in a circle around the mouse? Because right now I am picking a fixed point and strafing. Are you saying that you think it should actually like, I can't point at my screen, but you're saying it should basically go around the mouse in a circle? Is that kind of what you're talking about? Okay. Yeah, I actually do know how to do that. That's one way to do it. I think, to me, that's a very strange way, because that's not actually strafing. Like, if you want to, like, if we're in a like corridor shootout here or something, and I want to peek around the corner by going to the right, then I want to press D and then be able to like shoot because I know which way I'm going to be walking. But if I try to strafe to the right and then I start, going around in a circle, might be kind of weird. And again, that's something that you could do. The way to actually do that is when in your movement code, all you have to do is set up the direction. I'm trying to think of, let's just see if I can open it. That's the current movement setup that is in the first top-down shooter that I started working on, is you just go around in a circle around the mouse, and it kind of works. I just thought it looked so funny and felt so weird that it wasn't what I wanted to do at all. But, I mean, maybe it is. So, if I'm moving here, if I start strafing, you'll see he just goes around in a circle completely. And the code for that is just this right here. So you're getting the length direction of your movement and the current direction plus 90. And while you're holding left or right, and even backwards, the direction is always changing, and so it just brings you around in a perfect circle. So if that's something that you wanted to do for that, then that's something you can do. Is that a normal thing in a top-down shooter? Like I said, I haven't played very many of them. So what's the common, I guess, side-to-side movement in a top-down shooter? Do you travel around in a circle, or do you actually strafe left to right? Or is it actually more like regular grid movement where it's always up, always right, and stuff like that? I don't know. Suppose, like I said, we can actually set an option. Like, that'd probably be the best thing to do, is like have 3 different movement options in your game and just have the player be able to choose whichever one they want. But whatever. Yeah. Hey, alright, good night, man. Thanks for coming. Okay. Let's see. So I'm fairly happy with that strafing movement myself. Yeah. The only problem is that I can't strafe and move at the same time, so I have to actually like let go of moving forward or backwards. Otherwise, it just immediately pulls me backwards. Like if I'm moving forward and press D or A, it just takes me right back. And I'm not quite sure why that is. I'm gonna check on the debugger really quickly. See. Seems like it's actually activating twice. Where did the game go? Ran the debugger and then the game never shut up. Oh. Right. I don't actually... No, I do. What? Where's my game at? It's just not going. That's weird. Okay. Let's take off a breakpoint. See if that's like stopping it or something. No, it just doesn't show up. My game just doesn't appear at all. Like it should be playing. It says that it's running. But it's not there. I'm going to exit out of this other GameMaker project because sometimes they can conflict with each other. Yeah, mouse to aim, not to move. That's the other one that makes the most sense. W is always up, same, you know. And that's something that's I've coded before, really easy, so I might do that. I might put that in here as well, but I think since I'm going to be turning this into a course eventually, and it's like a continuation, and my first course did that kind of movement, probably going to keep it with this one, but we'll see. So, GameMaker apparently, the debugger is just not wanting to work at all. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I've never encountered this problem. Yeah, it just opens the debugger and then never runs the game. It's just not there. Okay, that's weird. Well, okay. I think I will probably just stop right there and give a quick recap of what I'm doing and let you know when I'll be going next. So, I'm going to keep working on this. Part 2 will be up later this week. So, I'm actually pretty happy with just what we got done, because like I said, strafing stumped me a couple weeks ago. I didn't come up with a good idea and just stopped working on it. So the fact that I got it down in an hour, I think, is pretty nice. So so for anyone who watches this later or just joined us now, I'm making a top-down shooter through this live series. So you can join me and give me your input about how movement should work, or the sprites I should use, or how a game should feel, or the power-ups that we get, whatever it is. I'm going to be building this as a full game, and then I'm going to be turning it into a course to put on Udemy and on Skillshare, so you can watch me here, or you can watch it then. The courses will actually be not these live videos. They'll be recorded, specifically aimed at people, and It'll be an intermediate course directly following my first beginner's course, so hopefully you check that out as well. I'm really hoping to do live streaming several times a week, but it's not going to be replacing my content, my normal tutorials. So if you just want tutorials like I've been doing in the past, then you'll see that. I'll probably actually make a tutorial on top-down shooter movement just like this, probably actually this exact same code, later this week. That's kind of also what I want to do, is turn what I'm learning in the live stream into tutorials to then share later on. So this is the GameMaker, the game developer live stream, but I'm also doing a website development live stream. So if you want to become a web developer, I am doing a live stream for that as well. I did that one earlier today. It turned out pretty good, I think. I had some people show up, which was very surprising because I didn't really announce it at all. So I'm going to have my new website for Beyond Us Games up and running, and on there you'll be able to see my schedule, and it is going to be a Google Calendar, so you'll actually be able to subscribe to that if you want to see when I'm live streaming and check that out. I'm going to be much more active on here. I am hoping to revamp and kind of redo my whole support system through Patreon, so I encourage you to check that out. I'm going to be doing different rewards, different tiers. I'm going to be doing allowing everyone who is on there to vote for when I do live streams. So right now I am doing planning on doing them on like Monday and Wednesday, and then tutorials on Fridays, I think is my current plan. And if you want to change that, we definitely can do that. If more people think that a live stream will work better on Saturdays or Sundays or just in the evenings, I'm totally down for setting that up. So you just let me know, if that's what you want, and you'll be able to vote on that if you are a patron. And I'm also setting up, getting the Discord channel back up and running. We have some people on there, and for a while it was super active and it was awesome. So hopefully you'll hop on there and we can have a fun community. I love doing this kind of stuff, and my favorite part has actually been interacting with people, and I think doing this live stream will actually be even better because doing comments and getting to respond to you right away is better than just replying to comments and talking to you through, that system. So I'm really excited, and that's what I got for you this time. Thank you very much for joining me. The next part I think we'll be streaming on Wednesday, probably around the same time. And I'll let you know as soon as the website's up and as soon as I get more stuff set up. So thanks for joining me, and as always, have fun making great games, and I'll talk to you later.